Our bodies need a certain amount of salt to function, but our consumption in general far outstrips physiological needs. The extra salt starts to build up in the blood, which attracts water, which in turn increases blood volume, putting pressure on the vessels and on the heart. The end result? High blood pressure. With no obvious symptoms, high blood pressure is also known as the silent killer and affects over 6 million South Africans.
I don't really worry about my blood pressure because I know that my family history is okay. No one really shows any signs of that.
I actually have about 2 weeks ago, and I had low blood pressure.
I haven't had my blood pressure tested, but I have my doubts whether I have high blood pressure.
I've always worried about my blood pressure because I come from a family of hypertensives, and I wasn't actually sure where I was. That's why I had to.
Blood pressure is currently measured on a single occasion, which means valuable information about daily or even hourly fluctuations in it can be lost. We spoke to Professor Brian Williams from University College London about a more effective way of measuring and monitoring blood pressure.
What would you say are the main factors contributing to high blood pressure?
Well, I think the first thing to say is that in most cases we don't know the underlying cause. In most cases it's really a factor of aging that causes the high blood pressure. But there are certain things that increase your risk of getting high blood pressure or increase your risk of it becoming higher if you already have it. And they are lifestyle issues. So, for example, we know the type of diet that you eat can influence whether your blood pressure goes up. Other things are weight. So if your weight is particularly high, and particularly if you don't take much regular exercise, that will gradually increase your blood pressure over time. The third issue is alcohol. And although moderate amounts of alcohol, good to say, are quite good for you actually in terms of your risk of heart disease and stroke, if you binge drink and you drink lots of alcohol in short sessions, that can really cause a surge in your blood pressure and has in the past been associated with an increased risk of stroke in people when they're older. So we understand some of the factors that contribute to high blood pressure. But for the majority of people, it's just the fact that your blood pressure tracks upwards as you get older because of the aging of your arteries, so that when the heart pumps, it generates a higher pressure because the arteries are stiffer. So that's not much we can do anything about.
Because of the daily variability in blood pressure, wearing a belt and cuff monitor over an entire 24-hour period provides a more reliable way of measuring it.
So let's talk about this new BP Watch protocol. That's something that's been practiced in the UK and that you spearheaded.
Yeah, we've known for many years that there are a group of people, when they go to the doctor, when they put the cuff on, they press the button, their blood pressure goes up. So that every time they measure their blood pressure in the clinic, their blood pressure is higher than it really is when they're away from the clinic. And we were aware of the fact that the same type of monitor can be adapted, or has been adapted, so that you can wear it on your belt and you still have a cuff on the arm, but it's under your shirt. And this is programmed to measure your blood pressure every 20 minutes during the day and every 30 minutes while you're asleep. And importantly, it measures it in the environment and in the lifestyle that you live, not necessarily sitting down in the doctor's office. So it's much more representative of your true blood pressure. And what we found with this approach is that it is much more accurate at determining who really has high blood pressure. Perhaps the time has come to move away from using the seated clinic blood pressure in the doctor's office as the only way of defining high blood pressure.
Well, the message from Professor Williams is clear. Your health, as always, is in your hands. And if you do suffer from high blood pressure, it might be a good idea to test yourself again using this new technology, because it will be more accurate.